Today, I wanted to talk about the deeper meaning of Ghostbusters 2. In Ghostbusters 2, New York City represents modern-day society, and though this movie came out in 1989, much of what is expressed here still holds up today. The Ghostbusters themselves represent the modern-day shamans, those who are specifically chosen by a higher force to be the guides and intermediaries between the realms of matter and spirit. They are like the so-called lightworkers, bringing the light of truth and love to the spiritual darkness. The Ghostbusters literally wield the light using their proton packs, which emit powerful beams of light energy. Tribes all around the world have had different words for these strange and gifted individuals, but no matter if modern or ancient, every civilization of people will always have those chosen few who are meant to act in this role for their fellow humans. When a member of a tribe has a spiritual problem or illness and needs non-ordinary metaphysical insight, they call the shaman. Despite the fact that they saved the city 5 years prior, the Ghostbusters get no respect and are seen as charlatans because the people of New York City somehow don't remember or even acknowledge the existence of ghosts or spirits. New York, aka modern society, doesn't recognize the spiritual realm, therefore it doesn't believe in ghosts and thus doesn't have respect for its own shamans. When being called fake by a child, Ray explains to the boy that most people are unable to believe in the paranormal, in other words, the spiritual. They are only able to be aware of that which they can perceive with the five senses. Yet, in actuality, there is so much more to reality than just what our physical senses are cognizant of. This is like when Morpheus says to Neo, "What is real? How do you define real?" If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. The spiritual realm represents the dream world, consciousness, soul, ghosts, spirits, the mysterious. It is the understanding that there is a deeper, intangible level to reality that connects everything and everyone on a soul level. Only certain people are able to actually perceive this deeper dimension, and many others lose the ability as children because it is programmed out of them by family or society. The spirit of something is its intangible inner essence and meaning, which transcends the three-dimensional space-time continuum. Spirituality is the awareness that there is a deeper layer to reality. This is a story about modern humanity forgetting and not respecting the ancient knowledge of its indigenous roots. It is the allegory of Plato's cave, and in this case, getting out of the cave means realizing that there is a higher truth, which is what would be called spirit or consciousness. As in Plato's allegory, when the Ghostbusters try to make people understand this, they are labeled by their fellow humans as insane or liars. Because this modern technological world doesn't recognize the spiritual, it has become unbalanced and out of touch with the higher guiding truths, lost in the darkness of its own selfish negativity. Fittingly, Egon is seeking to prove that there is a connection between the material and spiritual world, but we'll get back to that later. One can see from the beginning of the movie, all of the citizens of New York are extremely negative and impatient with each other. The citizens are resonating on a frequency of intense ingratitude. The general focus of the people is left brain and more out of the reptilian brain, the amygdala, which operates out of fear and aggression. They are caught up with the rat race and competition, caring mainly for success in the urban jungle, and responding with extreme anger and negativity when they don't get what they want. They have forgotten that all the success in the world means little if you don't have loved ones to share it with. Love is the greatest experience, meaning, and purpose of all. They care more about winning than about cherishing that which is most sacred, love and life. They are caught up in the material, illusory ego. They have lost the deeper awareness that underneath this physical body, we are all one. This situation is true of modernity all over the world, but especially pronounced in a place of such hustle and bustle like New York City. When aiming for success for its own sake, society has lost its own higher purpose and deeper meaning, only to be concerned with self-serving desires of the material and walking away from a path of true joy and happiness. Emotions are a kind of physical and spiritual energy, and if you feel the same emotions often and powerfully, you will attract invisible entities that are empowered by whatever energy signature you give off. If one exhibits strong negative energy, then negative spirits will be drawn to this person and find subtle ways to make him or her feel the negative emotions even more strongly, eventually causing this person to act out on them uncontrollably. If one exhibits strong emotions of peace and love, then entities of positivity will be drawn to this person, and most likely this person will begin to see synchronicities and inspiring signs that one is on the path of true love. The combined negative emotion of the citizens who are not spiritually aware and therefore not aware of the effects of their own thoughts and emotions is the fuel attracting their negative entity crisis, which has also materialized in the ever-increasing pink slime. Losing touch with the inner world and worshiping the outer leads to excessive narcissism and hedonism. This is what causes societies to fall in history as well as myth, such as in the fall of Rome and the Tower of Babel. Love is the great harmonizer, and when you get away from the love vibration, whether on a personal level or a societal level, it leads to chaos and misery. Dana goes to the Ghostbusters for help after an invisible force tries to kidnap her baby. Vigo the Carpathian wants to possess the baby. Why? Because, in spiritual terms, a baby is possibly the most energetically, spiritually powerful being there is, because its spirit is completely pure and untainted by the chaos of the material world. Due to this purity and great spiritual energy, sadly, this is what negative entities want to feed off of, and they want to taint the energy of babies and children, manipulating the actions and desires of those negative folks who are lost in ego to feed the demon's energy addiction. Luckily, this baby has a dedicated team of powerful shamans of the modern age ready to protect it. As Peter Venkman says, sometimes shit happens, someone has to deal with it, and who you gonna call? Dana goes to talk about the kidnapping incident to Egon, who has been studying the effects of emotions on the physical environment. He uses certain triggers and situations to measure the energy of positive and negative emotions. This aspect of the story is extremely deep, and it is exactly how the ancient role of the shaman might translate to today in this age of science and technology. This is an important scientific and spiritual concept, the underlying moral lesson of the whole story. Our consciousness, thoughts, feelings, and words have a significant effect on reality and each other. Studying how consciousness and emotions affect the material reality is the point where spirit and science meet as one. Science is here to answer the question how, and spirit is here to answer the question why. They are just two different perspectives of the reality which we all inhabit. Sir Arthur C. Clarke said, "Magic's just science that we don't understand yet." Science is the idea of that which is measurable and for the most part does not consider the impact consciousness has on reality because it is currently immeasurable, placing it more in the realm of the spiritual, the intangible, and imperceivable. However, there is scientific evidence that suggests that consciousness affects reality. For example, there is the double slit experiment. Physicists have found that the observation of quantum phenomena can truly change the measured result. This is an extremely deep subject that spans from the scientific study called noetics to religion to self-help concepts such as The Secret to healing and the placebo effect. Many believe, myself included, that consciousness is the foundation of reality, yet it's still something that we have limited understanding of. The Ghostbusters cause a blackout, which is symbolically like an eclipse, while collecting a sample of pink slime underneath the city, signifying the city's fall into darkness. This action lands them in court again to be called frauds by a powerful representation of modern society, the judge. The judge makes it clear that the city of New York, modern-day society, does not acknowledge the existence of ghosts, and neither does he. Again, we see the modern age's lack of spiritual awareness and acknowledgement, as the judge loudly proclaims that he and the city government do not recognize anything paranormal. They only believe in the material realm of the five senses. The city has completely turned its back on spirit and has become extremely left-brained. The left brain represents rules, ego, science, and memory. When we become too left-brained, we lose compassion and creativity and become rigid and insensitive, without compassion. The right brain rules empathy, creativity, feeling, and spirituality. As the judge gets angrier, the pink slime gets activated by his negative emotion. He receives a dose of karma as the ghosts of two brothers he once executed appear from the slime. It's interesting that the energetic residue from their execution was still present, just waiting to be awoken. We often leave energy residue on each other and on objects, and this is why people and things must be routinely energetically cleansed with items like salt, incense, water, and even sound and words. Negative entities cannot stand these positive vibrations, which is why priests use the power of the word infused with feeling and intention in order to exorcise the bad spirits. Now that there is a significant crisis proving the existence of the otherworldly, the judge pardons the Ghostbusters and they get back to work. Fueled and attracted by the negative energy of the city, the ghosts start appearing all over town. Ray and Egon figure out that the pink slime can absorb and reflect both positive and negative emotion, energy that can be transmitted through thoughts, feelings, words, and music. The pink slime represents consciousness. Thoughts and emotions affect the ether, attracting positive or negative entities all around you, which can influence your actions and other seemingly random events. To show the effects of positive emotions on the slime, Ray and Egon put the slime in a toaster and play the music Higher and Higher by Jackie Wilson, the chorus of which sings, "Your love keeps lifting me higher and higher." Love is the strongest positive energy and emotion there is. Vigo the Carpathian, the powerful demon, possesses the weak-minded Janosch, controlling him to kidnap Dana's baby. He takes the baby to the museum and Dana follows. The museum is covered by a layer of negatively charged pink slime, and the Ghostbusters realize they will need a lot of positively charged energy in order to get past this layer of evil slime and into the museum. Egon says that they need a symbol that will help unite the people of New York and inspire positive emotion. As shamans, they are also magicians and understand the power of spells and sigils, which must be charged with emotional energy in order to have power. The symbol they choose is the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is not only a symbol, but it is an actual goddess named Libertas. They are literally invoking the power and protection of a divine higher force, a goddess using positive emotional energy. Libertas in this form is a Christ or Buddha. She has the glowing halo of enlightenment. She has the tablet of wisdom and knowledge representing light, and she has the fiery torch. She has the light and she is the light, showing the way, guiding humanity through the darkness. Light represents love. The Ghostbusters play the Jackie Wilson song and encourage all of the citizens to sing along, building the positive feelings and emotions, and channeling the Goddess of Liberty into our 3D material realm. Earlier, there was a blackout and the city was in darkness. Now, the light has returned and the modern society is being brought back into balance due to their reborn spirituality. The Statue of Liberty busts open the top of the museum and the Ghostbusters enter and stop Vigo. At one point, they are losing to Vigo's magic. Synchronistically, it is midnight on New Year's. All of the citizens begin to sing the very uplifting New Year's celebration song, Old Long Since, elevating the collective vibration to such a high level of positivity that it drives out the negative entity. It is the power of sound, words, good intentions, forgiveness, compassion, family, and love. This weakens the demon as the Ghostbusters douse him with positively charged slime, banishing him back to the dimension from whence he came. Modern society has been saved and is now spiritually cleansed and reborn for the new year. It's a beautiful sentiment. The feelings and thoughts we put out affect the collective. So it's important for as many of us as possible to maintain a high vibration of love in order to keep the ether as well as the material realm balanced and healthy. Notice how the logo of Ghostbusters 2 is flashing the peace sign, a message to the viewer to remember to stay peaceful. The effects of consciousness, especially in regards to large groups of people, is powerful, and in terms of anger and fear, it is dangerous. To save the world, we must get as many individuals as we can vibrating on a higher frequency of peace and love. To conclude, I want to read to you the lyrics of the song played in the credits called Spirit by Doug E. Fresh. Spirit, some people hear it, some people fear it. Spirit, some people just won't go near it. Sure as I'm me and you should know you're you, your spirit is the key to unlock the true you.